she bragged. I hooked up with 3 guys on spring break. To her friends. I said, cool story. When the pregnancy test came back positive and none of the 3 answered her calls, I, 29 male, should have seen the red flags when Meredith, 27, started planning her spring break trip with her single friends. We'd been together for 2 years, living in my apartment for the last 8 months. She worked part-time at a boutique while building her influencer brand, which mostly meant taking selfies and expecting me to cover most of our expenses. When she announced the trip, I wasn't thrilled, but figured a week apart might be healthy. She and her friends Jenna and Tori had booked an all-inclusive resort package. I even gave her $500 spending money because she'd maxed out her credit card on new bikinis and vacation outfits. The week she was gone was actually peaceful. I deep-cleaned the apartment, caught up on work projects, hung out with my buddies. She sent a few texts here and there, mostly asking for more money, which I ignored, and complaining about drink prices. She came back Sunday night, tanned and hungover. I picked her up from the airport, and she spent the whole ride home on her phone, giggling at messages. When we got home, she crashed immediately. Monday evening, her friends came over for wine and to debrief about the trip. I was in my home office working but could hear everything through the thin walls. Oh my God, Mur, I still can't believe you actually did it, Jenna squealed. 3 guys in 1 week, you're legendary, Tori added. I froze at my desk. Blake was definitely the hottest, Meredith laughed. That first night at the foam party? Incredible. But Trent had this whole mysterious vibe, you know? Met him at the Tiki Bar Tuesday. What about the last one? Jenna asked. Xavier, the DJ from the yacht party. Friday night was... Wow. More giggling. I mean, what happens in Cancun stays in Cancun, right? My stomach turned. I sat there, hands shaking, listening to my girlfriend of 2 years describe cheating on me with 3 different men like it was some sort of achievement. Does Ethan know? Tori whispered. Are you kidding? No way, he thinks I was just hanging with you guys. He's sweet, but boring. This was my last hurrah before I have to start thinking about settling down or whatever. I closed my laptop and walked into the living room. 3 faces turned to me. Meredith's going pale. Cool story, I said, keeping my voice level. Jenna, Tori, I think you should leave. They grabbed their purses and practically ran out. Meredith stood up, swaying slightly from the wine. Babe, we were just joking around. You know how girl talk is. I heard everything, Mur. Blake, Trent, Xavier, the phone party, Tiki Bar, yacht. Her face crumbled. It didn't mean anything. I was drunk. It was just vacation fun. You need to leave, I said quietly. Pack your stuff and go. Are you serious right now? Over some meaningless hookups? Ethan, please. I walked to the bedroom and started pulling her clothes out of my closet, tossing them on the bed. She followed, alternating between crying and yelling. You can't just kick me out. I live here. You're not on the lease. You've been staying here rent-free for 8 months. Pack your stuff or I'll pack it for you. She called me every name in the book while shoving clothes into her suitcases. Within 2 hours, she was gone, texting me nonstop from her Uber. I blocked her number and went to bed. The peace lasted exactly 3 weeks. Update 1. I thought blocking Meredith would be the end of it. Changed my locks the next day, had her mail forwarded to her mom's address, even blocked her on all social media. My friends were supportive. Turns out several of them never liked her anyway, but kept quiet for my sake. Then last Tuesday, I got a call from an unknown number during my lunch break. Against my better judgment, I answered. Ethan? Meredith's voice was shaky. Please don't hang up. What do you want? I need to talk to you. In person. It's important. We have nothing to talk about. I'm pregnant. The sandwich I was eating turned to cardboard in my mouth. I did quick math. She'd been gone 3 weeks since the trip, so about a month since. Congratulations. Hope one of your spring break buddies is excited to be a dad. That's the thing. Her voice cracked. I've been trying to reach them. Blake's number is disconnected. Trent won't return my DMs. And Xavier? I only knew his DJ name, not his real name. Not my problem. Ethan, please. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Maybe you should have thought about that before cheating on me with 3 strangers. I hung up. She called back immediately from different numbers. Her mom's, her sister's, Jenna's. I didn't answer. Then the text started coming through Facebook Messenger since I'd forgotten to block her there. The baby could be yours. We had sex the week before I left. You can't abandon me like this. I made a mistake, but this is your child. I screenshot everything and made an appointment with a lawyer the next day. Better safe than sorry. The lawyer, Mr. Rodriguez, was straightforward. If she claims it's yours, demand a prenatal paternity test. Don't sign anything. Don't give her money. Don't acknowledge any responsibility until you have scientific proof. 2 days later, Meredith showed up at my work. Security had to escort her out when she started screaming in the lobby about me abandoning my pregnant girlfriend. My boss called me in, concerned. I showed him the screenshots of her bragging about cheating. He winced and told me to take the rest of the day off. That evening, her mother Diane called from yet another number. Ethan, sweetheart, I heard what happened. Meredith made a mistake, but surely you can forgive her. The baby needs a father. Diane, your daughter cheated on me with 3 men. The baby isn't mine. You don't know that. She says you two were intimate before the trip. One time, with protection. Besides, she literally told her friends about 3 other guys. Have her call them. She tried. Those boys won't take responsibility. You've been together 2 years. Doesn't that mean anything? It meant something to me. Apparently not to her. Goodbye, Diane. The calls kept coming. Her sister Cassie, her friends, even her cousin I'd met once at Christmas. All with the same message. I needed to step up and be a man and support Meredith through this difficult time. Then came the social media posts. Meredith started a whole campaign on Instagram about deadbeat men who abandon pregnant women. She was careful not to use my name, but anyone who knew us would know who she meant. The comments were filling up with supportive messages from her followers about how real men take responsibility, and he'll regret this when he sees his baby. I stayed quiet, documented everything, and waited. Update 2. Last week, Meredith's campaign escalated. She started posting ultrasound photos with captions like, 8 weeks and doing this alone because he refuses to acknowledge his child, and some boys never become men. My phone was blowing up with messages from mutual acquaintances asking if it was true that I'd abandoned my pregnant girlfriend. I had a simple response ready. She cheated with 3 guys on spring break and bragged about it. The baby isn't mine. Most people backed off after that, but Meredith's family doubled down. Her sister Cassie actually showed up at my apartment on Thursday night with Meredith. I saw them through my Ring doorbell and didn't answer. They stood outside for 20 minutes, with Cassie pounding on the door while Meredith cried dramatically. "Open up, Ethan. You can't hide forever," Cassie yelled. "My sister is pregnant with your baby. Be a man." I called the building security and they were escorted out, but not before Meredith screamed loud enough for half the building to hear. "I'll see you in court. You'll pay child support for the next 18 years. Friday morning, I got served with legal papers. She was actually suing me for paternity and child support. My lawyer had prepared me for this possibility. "Perfect," Mr. Rodriguez said when I called him. "Now we can demand a prenatal paternity test through the court. She can't refuse if she wants to pursue support." The test was scheduled for this Monday. Meredith had to pay for it up front, since she was the one claiming paternity, about $1,500 that I'm sure she had to borrow from her family. In the meantime, her social media campaign intensified. She started a GoFundMe for single mother abandoned by longtime boyfriend, claiming she needed help with medical expenses and baby preparation. She raised about $3,000 before I had my lawyer send a cease and desist about the false claims. Sunday night, I got a text from an unknown number. "Hey man, this is Blake from Cancun. Some crazy chick is blowing up my Insta saying I got her pregnant? I'm married, bro. Please tell her to stop." I couldn't help but laugh. I forwarded the message to my lawyer. Monday came. Meredith looked rough at the clinic. No makeup, hair in a messy bun, wearing sweats. Her mom and sister flanked her like bodyguards. She wouldn't make eye contact with me. The test was simple. Blood draw from her, cheek swab from me. Results would take 3 to 5 business days. As we left, Diane cornered me in the parking lot. "When this test proves you're the father, I hope you'll do the right thing. Maybe even marry her. Every child deserves a complete family." "We'll see what the test says," I replied calmly. Cassie scoffed. You're going to feel so stupid when it comes back as yours. Mer told us you guys were trying to be careful, but, you know, accidents happen. Is that what she told you? Interesting. Well, science doesn't lie. Wednesday afternoon, my lawyer called. I have the results. You're going to want to sit down for this. My heart pounded. Just tell me. 0% probability of paternity. You are definitively not the father. The relief nearly knocked me over. Send me a copy. Send her lawyer a copy. Send everyone a copy. Already done. Her lawyer called 10 minutes ago. Apparently, there's quite a scene happening at their office. That evening, the text started. Meredith, the test is wrong. We need to do it again. Diane, those tests can be faulty. You should get a second opinion. Cassie, you probably paid off the lab. This isn't over. I didn't respond to any of them. But I did make one social media post, my first in weeks. Just a simple screenshot of the test results showing 0% probability, with the caption, "Science doesn't lie. Best of luck to the actual father." My phone exploded. The same people who'd been calling me a deadbeat were now sliding into my DMs with apologies and "I knew something was off" messages. But the best part, Jenna messaged me privately. "OMG, Ethan, I'm so sorry. I tried to tell her not to lie, but she was convinced she could make you believe it. She doesn't even know which guy is really the father. Blake is married, Trent ghosted her, and she doesn't even know Xavier's real name. She's freaking out." I screenshot that too, just in case. Update 3. It's been 2 weeks since the paternity test results, and Meredith's world has completely imploded. First, the GoFundMe. Once I posted the test results, people who donated started demanding refunds. GoFundMe investigated and found she'd violated their terms by making false claims. They shut down her campaign and refunded all donors. Meredith had already spent about $1,000 of it on baby stuff and maternity clothes. Now, she owed that money back. Then came the social media backlash. All those supportive comments turned into angry accusations. Her follower count plummeted. Brands that had given her small sponsorship deals dropped her. Her influencer career died overnight. But the real drama started when Blake's wife found out. Remember Blake mentioning he was married? Well, his wife Veronica is apparently a force of nature. She hired a private investigator who found Meredith's spring break photos and videos that Jenna and Tori had posted. There was Blake, clearly visible in several, including one where he and Meredith were very obviously together at the phone party. Veronica didn't just want a divorce. She wanted blood. She sued Meredith for alienation of affection. Apparently that's still a thing in some states. She also sent copies of everything to Blake's employer, his family, their entire social circle. Blake lost his job at some investment firm for conduct unbecoming or something. Blake, now desperate, finally responded to Meredith's messages, but only to beg her to take a paternity test to prove he wasn't the father so he could salvage something with his wife. Meredith agreed, hoping he'd step up if it was his. Plot twist. Blake wasn't the father either. That left Trent and Xavier. Jenna, who'd been feeding me information in exchange for me not mentioning her role in covering for Meredith, told me that Meredith had hired some sketchy online people finder service to track down Trent. She found him, along with his boyfriend of 3 years. Turns out Trent was very much gay and very much drunk that night in Cancun. He agreed to a test just to shut her up. Not the father. That left Xavier the DJ, whose real name nobody knew. Meredith spent hundreds of dollars she didn't have trying to track him down. She called every entertainment company in Cancun, stalked DJ forums online, even considered flying back to search for him. Meanwhile, her family was starting to crack. Diane, who'd been Meredith's biggest defender, was furious about the money she'd lent for the paternity test and lawyer fees. Cassie was getting harassed online for her part in the whole drama and blamed Meredith for ruining her reputation too. Last Monday, Meredith did something desperate. She created a fake Instagram account and messaged me. "Ethan, it's Xavier from Cancun. I heard you're looking for me about Meredith. I'm willing to take a paternity test, but I need $5,000 for my travel expenses. Can you help?" The grammar was too good, and the account was created that day. Plus, Jenna had already told me Meredith was broke and trying to scam money for the baby. I reported the account and sent screenshots to my lawyer, who forwarded them to Meredith's lawyer with a note about potential fraud. Her lawyer dropped her the next day. Yesterday, I ran into Meredith's mom at the grocery store. Diane looked exhausted and about 10 years older. She apologized for everything. I believed her, Diane said quietly. She swore up and down it was yours, said the spring break thing was just a story to make her friends think she was cool. I spent my retirement savings helping her, and now, she shook her head. She's living with us again. Still no idea who the father is. Still posting on Instagram like nothing happened, talking about her journey as a single mother. I'm sorry it worked out this way, I said, and I meant it. Not for Meredith, but for her family who got caught in her lies. Can I ask you something? Diane looked uncomfortable. Was she always like this? The lying, the manipulation? I thought about it. The little lies about where money went, the stories that didn't quite add up, the way she'd twist situations to make herself the victim. Yeah, I admitted. I just didn't want to see it. Final update. 1 year later. Figured I'd give one last update since people keep DMing me asking what happened. Meredith had the baby, a little girl. She never did find Xavier. Word through the grapevine is she put the baby up for adoption. It was a closed adoption, so that's all I know about that. She moved out of state about 6 months ago, deleted all her social media, and started fresh somewhere else. Jenna told me she's working as a receptionist at some office and living with roommates. No more influencer dreams. Her family is still recovering. Diane had to go back to work at 65 to rebuild her savings. Cassie doesn't speak to Meredith anymore. The whole thing tore their family apart. Blake's wife divorced him. He paid out big in the settlement, moved back in with his parents last I heard. As for me, I'm good. Actually, I'm great. Started dating this amazing woman named Lucia about 8 months ago. She's an engineer, has her life together, and thinks the whole spring break story is wild. I told her on our 4th date, figured honesty was the best policy. The apartment feels like home again. Got a promotion at work. Even started traveling. Did a guy's trip to Colorado last month. That was exactly the kind of vacation I needed. Looking back, Meredith did me a favor. If she hadn't been bragging to her friends that night, I might have wasted more years with her. Maybe even married her. Shudder. The whole experience taught me a lot about red flags, boundaries, and trusting your gut when something feels off. Also, always get a lawyer when someone threatens legal action. Worth every penny. Oh, and for anyone wondering, I did eventually unblock her number about 6 months ago. Not because I wanted to talk to her, but because I didn't want to miss any important legal stuff if it came up. She's never tried to contact me again. Sometimes the best revenge really is just living well and making them face the consequences of their own choices. That's all, folks. Thanks for following along on this wild ride.